Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody is doing well. Look on the screen. We have a pregnant lady. Congratulations. Want to have a conversation? Yep, gonna jump right into it. So, um, speaking today on different issues, a man had mentioned about the fact that, oh my goodness, these women, it was a good thing that Roe versus Wade was overturned because basically, women deciding to do this is something wrong. It's such a horrible act, and there's something wrong psychologically. You must hate yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I'm sure we've all seen the pictures and the act of having to, count. I'm gonna say for instead of ABO or TION. So I'm just going to refer to as counseling of a pregnancy. So I'm sure you've seen the photos, and the photos are horrible. That is horrible. But here's my thing: if counseling, if canceling a pregnancy or stopping a pregnancy is really so bad, which we all have our opinions on it, what about abandonment? If a woman ends a pregnancy, let's say we still had Roe versus Wade. If a woman ends a pregnancy, if that is so bad, what about the partner, the man who abandons the woman and the child? What about the man that abandons the baby? What about the man that doesn't take his responsibility important enough to be there in the baby's life? So people say, well, that person, the difference is a chance at life. What kind of life? A life in poverty? Can't even sit up in your room, watch TV, of fear of getting shot? A life of being subject to poverty and crime? A life of maybe being abused by someone? If stopping a pregnancy is just the utmost, one of the worst things, then what about abandonment? Abandon when a man abandons the child, when he is not there to be a decent, not just a father, you need to be a decent father. What about that? Is that equally just as bad or maybe not so bad? That's what I want to know. If a woman stops a pregnancy, if that is just so bad, what about when a man abandons his seed? He's not there to protect the seed and guide the seed properly, to make sure the seed has adequate housing, adequate clothing, to make sure that the seed is in a safe environment, to make sure that the woman that bore his seed is also has adequate clothing, adequate housing, has what she needs in case she gets PTSD that she can be treated properly. What about when a man doesn't do that? Because you see, however she is, that's going to have an effect on the child. Yeah. You have some women that are checked out, that are angry, that are hurt, that are damaged and haven't experienced the healing process. What do you think is going to happen to that child? You have some women that have been abused growing up and they sit up and do the very same thing. Where's the father? So, if stopping a pregnancy to actually cancel a pregnancy, if that is such a horrific thing, and there's a lot that goes into it, I think I've heard women say there's an emotional toll. I've seen, you've probably seen it too, the people outside protesting, and they've got the pictures there. It's like, oh my goodness, that's a lot. But if that is just so bad, what about the abandonment? What about when a man just like checks out, yo, she got that baby, I'm up out of here, and you have to face it for what it is. When a person does that, I don't care how you want to try to clean this up, that person is pretty much letting the child know. And I don't want to hear about, we don't get along, but you got along enough to get someone pregnant. So what about when the man just ups and leaves a woman to just the child and fend for themselves? As I told a woman before, and I do believe this. When a man does that, he's letting you know. He is letting you know whether you want to face it or not, sweetie. He's letting you know he doesn't care. He does not care whether that child survives, eat, stay alive, or die. He doesn't care. No, he doesn't. I'm gonna say it again. He doesn't care when he abandons a child like that. Just stays gone. He doesn't care whether that child survives, stays alive, eat, or die. He doesn't care. That's why it's gone. So explain to me, if the abort is so bad, just in case they're kids in the room, if that is so bad, if stopping a pregnancy when that option was available, if that was so bad, I just wanted to explain to me how abandonment is not also equally as bad. Because a person is walking off from their seed, and then the child will know, if the person is alive and not being there, guess what? That's going to have a major adverse effect on that child mentally. Are you kidding me? It will. They may see other people with two parents. Oh, I wonder. See, my dad never came for me. I can't imagine. Me, I'm a daddy's girl, so I just really can't imagine that. But yeah, if it's so bad, which we're all entitled to our opinion, is abandonment also very bad? Is it? Putting a child here to say, hey, I don't think you're worthy enough to stay. I think nothing of you. Sure as heck don't love you because you're not there. Is that also? Or do we want to say, well, no, again, if stopping the pregnancy is bad, what about when you put a child here and you stop and you refuse to be a parent, to be an effective parent? Is that also just as bad, or maybe not as bad? For a lot of men that feel that way, then it's real simple. You can go ahead, if the woman has a baby, you can go ahead and go pick up your child and raise it yourself. But we know you don't want that. We've seen a few right now on the internet. Oh my goodness, they'll get a hold of their child, and then they're like, oh, the mother, she's I'm a single dad. The woman shows up late like they typically do, and then he wants to have a gasket. Then you look up, oh, it's not just him raising it, his mama's helping. So if the women are doing such a horrible job, I would say, yeah, go pick up. It's very simple. If you are worth the dawn, go pick, and you value your seed, go pick them up. Yeah, go pick up those kids and you show them how it's done, how that child should be raised. Let's see you get up in the middle of the night when a child gets sick. Let's see you get the kid off to school, and then make sure they get home and they start cooking and cleaning and homework and bathing. Let's see you do that 5 days a week. On the weekend, yeah, you may not be able to make it to brunch because you got kids, they got to eat breakfast. And then somebody might want a ballet class, a piano class. I'm going to go to my friend's house. You got to go and check out as a friend, meet the parents, find out. Yeah, so you have any teenagers? Any teenage boys over there? Nah. Nope, they can come over here. They can come over here. Let's see you handle all that. Let's see you then teach them how to drive. All three of us, our father got us a vehicle. So let's see you go into that. Let's see you experience yours going to the dealership, even though it's a pre-owned vehicle. Those two got. I got a vehicle from the delivery business actually, so I didn't get to go to the dealership. They did. I'm the middle child. That's too funny. Come to think about it. They both got pre-owned vehicles from the dealership. I didn't. Like when I went to college. So yeah, I got a vehicle that was using my dad's delivery service. But then when I did get my first vehicle, my father did co-sign. So let's see you go through all that. My dad did that 3 times with his kids. My first car was not from the dealership. My first car was one that my father had in the delivery business, and it was a Nissan with over 200,000 miles on it. But I was in that car and I was going. A sister had transportation outside that dorm. Thank you very, very, very much. But yeah, let's see you go ahead and do that, and you sit down, you pick out the vehicle, and then your dad sits down and he signs his name and gets with the insurance and all. Let's see you do all of that. Let's see you put down the down payment because we're young. We don't have no money for the down payment. That's the father's job. Let's see you do that. Mm-hmm. Let's see you give some life lessons. Whole lot of work. So yeah, I want to know if stopping a pregnancy, if that is like just the most horrible thing a person can do as a parent, what about abandonment? Because now the child is here and you're like, yo, I'm out. You're on your own. I know you just got here. I don't care. I'm out. That sends a powerful lesson, a powerful message. So is one just as bad as the other? Well, no, giving that child a chance at life. What kind of life? What kind of life? A life of eating out of a trash can, becoming homeless, living in the vehicle all stacked up. I've seen women. I can't believe 4 kids and in a medium sized sedan, homeless. So yeah, let me know what you all think. If that is just the worst thing, what kind of woman does that? Really, you want to really go there? What kind of man does that? Abandon his child? So just something to consider. Let me know what you all think. I look forward to hearing the comments. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share. So if that is so bad, which the photos are horrible, not going to even go there. I'm not going to even go there. You want your child living like on what is that? Pursuit of happiness, sleeping in a bathroom, which he overcame that, which is good. Everybody can't. But who would even want your child to experience that? So if that is just so horrible, a woman having that option, I want to know, what about when a man abandons the very child that he helped to create? Is that also just a horrible thing? Or maybe we're just so used to it, we become numb. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share.